Hello everyone and welcome to Half Hour of Horror with Love Horror. This is a podcast that looks back at the films that we missed or didn't review the first time around. And sometimes that's for a good reason, and sometimes I'm not really sure how we missed it. My name's Tom
Very
Atkinson,
true.
and I'm joined today by my good friend and colleague,
Alex Humphrey. Yes, sorry, I thought you were going to say my name. yes, and I am your good friend and colleague. Yes, that's what I am. I am that. And you're right, this is a film. Why did we miss it? I don't know why we missed this film. This is a film that did not. This was not deliberate that we missed this film. I don't know why we missed this film. We're fools, but I'm glad we get to talk about it now.
Was it not because you hate it so much? It's not one of those films you really don't like. Is that the reason why you didn't?
Well, I've actually talked about this film on two podcasts. My other podcast, Science Fiction Rating System, I've talked about this film twice on those podcasts. So this will be the third time I talked about this film. So I don't know. Do I hate it so much I like talking about how much I hate it? Or do I love it so much I like talking about how much I love it? Well, who knows? You'll find out.
This is going to be a great test to see if talking about it three times is too much to talk about any film. Like, if you just dry up partway through, like, we'll totally forgive you for that. Now.
I can't talk about this anymore.
You know the bit. You know that bit where this happens. Oh, God.
Oh, everyone knows. Come on now. What film is it? What film is it we're talking about?
So today we're talking about a film that's had a very checkered history. The Thing, the John Carpenter version from 1982. I'll do a little intro and then we can go into our other bits and pieces before the full timer sets off. In this episode, we're travelling to Antarctica as we talk about The Thing, John Carpenter's reimagining of earlier book written by John W. Campbell called Who Goes There? Now, this sci-fi horror classic is one of those films that now feels completely untouchable in its reputation, but it's not always been that way. In fact, when it was released, it was famously mauled by critics. And when I say mauled, I mean mauled. Robert Ebert, one of the sort of best-known critics in the world, called it a bath bag of a movie. It was dismissed as instant junk and grotesque. And it was quickly written off in the box office in the shadow of more optimistic, crowd-pleasing films that were in the cinema at the time. Now, one film in particular was E.T., so it went up against E.T. in the box office, so people have attributed that to...
that's mad.
Exactly.
It'd be pretty funny if you were like, oh, I really liked E.T. Oh, look, there's another sci-fi film coming out. Oh,
it's going to be about the same sort of thing, right?
It'll probably be about the same. Yeah, let's go see that.
You'd get a bit of a shock, wouldn't you?
God, you would.
So, as I said, it's based on John Campbell's original novella, but actually there was another film made before that, 1951, by Chris Nyby, and that was called The Thing from the Other World. But in the early 80s, producers from Universal Studios decided they wanted to do another version that stuck more closely to the book. Fast forward a few decades, and the story could now not be more different. The Thing's become like a cornerstone of horror and sci-fi cinema. It's endlessly sort of cited by people like us for having things like suffocating atmosphere, nerve-shredding tension, and also, of course, the unforgettably amazing, brilliant special effects by Rob Bottin, the SFX genius behind this film. All physical stuff, obviously. Although there are one or two odd little bits of CGI, I noticed this time watching. It's also one of the defining collaborations between John Carpenter and Kurt Russell as well. So that's a long sort of standing partnership they've had for many years. And now in 2026, sorry, this is a very long intro, isn't it? I'm not as succinct with all this as you, Al. In 2026, the film's legacy has now been officially cemented. The Thing has been added to the National Film Registry by the Library of Congress, and it's been recognised as a work that is culturally, historically, or aesthetically significant.
All of them.
Which is a pretty remarkable turnaround, really, isn't it, Al?
Yeah, it is. From being completely ripped to shreds and people hating it, and, you're right. Absolute flop when it came out. Audiences hated it, reviewers hated it, everyone hated it, didn't they? It kind of ruined John Carpenter's career at the time. He was set to do big things, and it all got derailed by this film. Which it's just mad to think that. I can't. It's insane.
It is mad, isn't it?
And I'm not. People listening to this will be like, "Oh yeah," but it's easy to say that. But I'm pretty convinced that if I saw this back then, I mean, what year was it? It was 82. I mean, I couldn't have. I would have been 4. No,
Quite young.
4. Couldn't have watched it at 4. But if I had seen it at an age that you could watch this film, I'm sure I would have liked it. There's no way I wouldn't have liked it. And I think the same for you. And I just don't get. It must have been, it's just kind of mainstream. I guess it's that these days a cult audience and a horror audience has a lot more power than they used to do. You know, things like Terrifier, which feels like, like so out there, can be a smash hit because there's such a great horror audience out there, one like great people, great community. And back then, horror didn't have that community. It was kind of, people in their basements, or in the back of the video shop and being like, oh, have you got that? Have you got that? It wasn't really seen as being as acceptable or mainstream. So, but it's unbelievable that people hated on this. It's a masterpiece.
Yeah, it's weird, actually. Yeah, there wasn't. It's funny. It's funny. It's almost like horror didn't used to have connoisseurs and a fandom. No. What it had was more like thrill seekers.
Yeah.
So it's people that were like daring each. Have you got the guts to watch this?
Yeah,
and also
definitely.
It was also a good excuse to take someone you fancied to the cinema and hope they'd get a bit scared and snuggle up a bit closer to you. So it's a very different mindset, isn't it?
Genre films just like this weren't respected. They weren't thought of as worthy, and I still think there's a stigma to horror films. Regardless of people being like, oh, we're in a renaissance. I still think that horror isn't really widely accepted. Not really. It's always like, oh, this is a horror you should watch if you don't like horrors, or oh, this horror is different to all the other horrors. And it's not just like, it's not, But masterpiece. I'm saying it already. I love this film. I'm going to say it straight away. No hiding.
Yeah, spoiler. one spoiler that's not a spoiler for the film, but one sort of, I guess, being open at the beginning of this is
going to say it.
This is a film we both do love, and I think lots of people will join us in that. So get ready for a lot of the Thing butt kissing and John Carpenter butt kissing, no doubt, on the way through.
True.
So
it's true.
In true half hour of horror fashion now. We have our tributes, don't we?
Yes,
where we give a tribute or two to the film.
I do have two, actually.
To mark the occasion. I thought you might have two. Let me do mine first, because as usual, I don't have confidence in mine, and I feel like yours are going to be worth the wait. I was trying to get something specific for this, and I'm really gutted I couldn't get it. It was a lot harder than I thought it was going to be to get it. But in the Thing... MacReady drinks this particular brand of whiskey, J&B. I really, and I wanted to get a bottle at least, just to have. Good. I wasn't necessarily going to drink it because I didn't want to get in trouble or something, but just to have the bottle.
That'd have been good.
So
that's a good
sadly, couldn't get a hold of it in time. But
sorry.
I'm wearing tribute number 1 is this rather fetching woolly hat, which is going to help us to speed through the half hour as well, because I will be slowly melting because I'm wearing a parka as well.
I was going to say, you're wearing the Arctic. You're in a full-on coat as well,
So if we overrun by more than half an hour, I am going to be sweating and I might pass out. So
don't need a timer, you'll just be melting.
But if I get hungry, I also have this really handy Arctic Explorers pack of dinner.
Very
it's basically a horrible meal that you can just stick in a pan and heat up.
That's pretty decent.
It's
Come on
got
now.
a shelf life.
That's a good one.
It's got a shelf life of about 12 years, I think. So great. Anyway,
that's pretty good. Come on, don't put yourself down. That's a good one.
Well, I haven't tasted it yet. Let's see what it tastes like. And then,
well, I've got two. My first one I'm wearing, which is my Outpost 31.
Outpost 31,
which is a sweat from the last exit to nowhere. So I'm wearing that. Now my second one, I stumbled upon this. So again, much like if people have been watching our podcast, listening to it, actually you'd have to have been watching. Do you remember my misery frame? I kind of stumbled upon that, and that was a pretty good one. I also stumbled upon this. I didn't know this existed. It's pretty cool. Are you ready to see it? Here we go.
What's it gonna be?
It is.
Yeah.
It's a thing. It's a USB light.
What?
I know. How cool is this? I know. I just stumbled upon it, found it in a charity shop. How cool is that?
What the hell?
Yeah, I know.
What the
so
hell?
That's what I'm going to do.
Dare I ask, can you remember how much it cost?
Oh, it wasn't much. No, it was like £4, something like that. How cool is that?
Damn
Right,
it. You find all the best stuff in charity shops.
I know, it's not going to look great, but just we'll line that up.
Yeah, no, it's got to be in the background. Oh my
Does that look
God,
good in the background there?
Cool.
That
looks so cool.
Okay, good.
Oh,
okay, under
so
my nice
cool.
new picture, I've got some nice artwork up as well. It's not the thing, but it's it is a thing.
I'm going to have to do a lot better in the next episode. I'm going to have to I don't know. I'm going to have to.
I think I've done all my. I'm
not going to give away.
I've shot all my big guns, as it were, in the last few episodes, and it's going to get pretty. It's going to get pretty rubbish after this bit. I'm going to really be dialing it in after this.
No, well, you can relax. It's my turn to up my game. Damn it.
Okay.
So,
are we ready? Are we going to start the timer?
Can you remember Well, I was just going to before we go. Can you remember the first time you watched it? Did you love it straight away?
I did love it. I was shocked by it. I mean, the first time I watched it, I think I was extremely shocked by the effects, by how out there it is. I mean, getting into it without getting into it, it is a very extreme kind of body horror. And I can't say that it's scary. I think the first time I saw it, I was scared of it because it's just so disgusting and out there. It definitely made me jump. I don't find it scary anymore because I've seen it a lot of times, but I think the ideas in it are scary, and it just goes to some really weird places. And I do remember, first time I saw it, I was pretty shocked by it. But I don't remember when that first time was. Quite a long time ago. I think it was an early one I saw, definitely.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I think I saw this a little bit later, so it would have been the 90s. This wasn't like one of the sort of earlier horror films I watched, and I think it's probably a good job because I think it was probably too extreme for me when I was really young. Like a lot of the stuff I saw when I was really small was the sort of tamer stuff, but this is full on, isn't it, in terms of gore and stuff? And but I remember it being one of those films that once I saw it once, I then my God, is it in there?
Ignore me.
It's all falling apart.
Come alive.
Yeah, I just remember it being one of those films that once I saw it once, I then sort of got a bit obsessed by it and then watched it. I had it on tape and I was watching it over and over and over again.
Hell yeah.
So I don't know how many times I've watched it. A lot of times.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
But anyway.
Great film.
Let's
we're going to start the timer.
We're going to start the timer. But how will we know when the time runs out, Al?
I don't know. Is it a dog barking?
There'll be a noise. And this is the noise you're going to hear.
And when you find the time, I'd rather not spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch!
That is probably my favourite line. That is my favourite.
Well, we have to bleep that out. I think it's everyone's favourite line from this film.
Surely,
but,
it's a great.
It's very loud as well this time.
That's definitely
that'll definitely stop us when we hit the 30 mark.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, I'm going to start the timer now, and then you can kick off with a synopsis.
When Gary yells at us, we'll know it's time to stop. So okay, right.
Yeah,
ready?
As soon as Gary shouts.
Okay.
Ready.
So opening some time in space where we see a mysterious flying saucer pass the Earth and disappear. We then move to 1982 in the Antarctica where a team of 12 men man the Americans' research base Outpost 31, all performing different roles. And I'm going to tell you all their roles, which is, I've never known what all their jobs were, but someone on the internet, well done them, has put all their jobs down. So if you ever wanted to know what everyone's job was, I'm about to tell you everyone's job. So you've got the doctor, Cooper, the microbiologist, Blair, and his assistant, Fuchs, the dog handler, Clark. I think most people knew that one. Radio operator, Windows, meteorologist, Bennings, cook, Knowles, geophysicist, Norris, station manager, Gary, who's going to yell at us, mechanics, Childs and Palmer, and the helicopter pilot, MacReady, played amazingly by Kurt Russell. So as the bitter and inhospitable, that was the word, winter is about to start, the team are surprised by the arrival of a dog being frantically chased and shot at by some Norwegian researchers from another facility. Taking the dog in, they conclude the Norwegians must have gone mad from the isolation and harsh conditions, but decide to investigate the outpost they came from just in case. Finding it ravaged by violence and the rest of the foreign team dead, the most disturbing discovery of all comes when they find a corpse in the snow, mutated and mangled and barely human. From here, things go from strange to insane as the team slowly realise they have come in contact with an extraterrestrial life form that assimilates, then imitates other organisms. Unsure who is human and who they can trust, can the crew kill this thing before they kill each other? There you go. That's my synopsis. Had some spoilers in it, but sorry.
Yeah, this as we always say though, there will be spoilers in this podcast, so it's best that you either have watched the film or you listen along while you're watching it, or something crazy like that.
It's true. It's
fine.
true.
It's fine. It's from 1982. I think a lot of people should at least know enough about this film if they haven't seen it.
Okay, fair enough.
So
should we jump straight in? I love the opening of this film.
Straight in, man.
It's a brilliant opening. It's a brilliant opening as the dog's getting chased and this helicopter and the Norwegians shooting at it. I love this opening. Massive credit to this dog. This dog is an amazing actor. I'm sure there's more than one dog.
Yeah.
But the dog is so good. And it's all
the dog, it's freaky. It's not like a real dog, is it?
No.
It's like a part human dog.
Yeah, definitely. And it is obviously to do with how it's shot as well and how Carpenter kind of like lingers on the dog when it's in the base and it kind of just sitting there and how it is. But it's also the performance of the dog is amazing. So it is great. I do love the
Apparently the dog is part husky but part wolf.
Oh.
So it was actually a different. It was the other dogs there were a different breed, and apparently that mix, the wolf aspect of it, made it extra. It just basically didn't act like a normal dog. So a lot of that weird behaviour that it has. I mean, I'm not a dog owner, so I don't know a massive amount about dogs. But there's one particular scene where the dog walks into the kennel with the other dogs, and it looks like it's a human, and it just sort of goes in, sits down, and then just stares.
Yeah.
And that sort of behaviour apparently is the sort of thing these kind of wolf mixed dogs do.
Okay.
So, but it was quite challenging to work with because of that wolf mix. Apparently, it's quite a sort of bit of a edgy, sort of dodgy dog anyway.
Dodgy dog. A brilliant dodgy dog. Well done him. I do, and I love how the film kind of you just get thrown straight into it. You know, you do see a bit of the people in the base and like MacReady playing computer chess and pouring his JB into the computer when it beats him and stuff like that. You see a bit of them, but you are kind of thrown into it. You don't really know everyone's jobs. You don't really know why they're there, what they're researching. You don't know, like you say, you don't really know why these Norwegians are chasing this thing. Although, I'm sure you know this fact. If you can speak Norwegian, there's a massive spoiler at the beginning of this film. So do you know what the Norwegian pilot says?
It's something about it's not a dog or something.
He says, "Get the hell away. That's not a dog. It's some sort of thing. It's imitating a dog. It isn't real. Get away, you idiots." So anyone who's Norwegian who watched this was like, oh, okay. Well, it's kind of spoilers. Spoilers from the first minute of the film, basically.
But how unfortunate. What a different film it would be if that Norwegian guy could just speak English and he just shouted in English. Like how this film would have panned out if that had just happened. It would have been so different, wouldn't it?
No, they just think they've gone mad, and Gary shoots one of them. They blow up their own helicopter, don't they? It's all a bit of a mess.
Yeah, but Gary's a good shot, isn't he? Doesn't he get him right through the eye from like a really long distance away?
Yeah, he does. Yeah.
But what do you think about the music at the beginning? That sort of.
I like the music. It's one of the. It's not scored by Carpenter, is it? It's Ennio Morricone. And
it is,
I think that is. I think it was because he was. I think Carpenter was. It's too much for him to do the music as well. But I think considering it isn't a Carpenter score, it's a very good score, and it does have those elements of Carpenter in them. And that is kind of that theme is. That's the best bit. That theme is the best bit. Normally with Carpenter films, there's a bit of music where lots of bits of music you remember, but with this, I think that's the best bit. I think he does a good job.
Yeah.
It's not.
Well, it's funny you should say that because I assumed it was Carpenter, and then when I read up about it, it was saying about Morricone being the guy behind it, and then basically Carpenter had wanted to get him involved because he liked all the European films like the Giallo and stuff that he'd been working on, and he was trying to bring a bit of that into it. But then in the end, he ended up playing him like Escape from New York. as inspiration, because I think Morricone wasn't quite giving him what he wanted. So in a
Okay,
weird way,
interesting.
Carpenter pretty much basically said, make it sound like mine, in a roundabout way.
I mean,
And
he's
that's
not
why it
wrong.
does sound quite a lot like his.
Carpenter scores are always amazing. So, like, you know,
It's just a bit weird to get
yeah.
someone else who's got a different sound to do the music for you and then go, oh, can you just make it sound like my stuff? Cheers. But it works. Still sounds
it
good.
works. Carpenter gets to do that. I reckon. I reckon you're allowed to do that if you're John Carpenter. You can say that.
He's in charge. He's the boss.
But the films, I like this film so much because it just keeps going. It's like the pacing of this film is brilliant. So like straight away they're just like, right, well, what happened with the Norwegians? That's a bit weird. That's odd. Well, like, okay, well, should we just go and go to their base, see what's going on with them? So, you know, I think other films would have had about half an hour. They'd probably had half an hour where nothing happened, where you just introduced the characters. You got a bit of like, oh, life on the base. Like, other people would have made this film differently. And it'd been boring as hell until something happened. But this is just not what happens in this. It's just straight in. You know, you just get going, which is great. And I really like when they go to the MacReady goes off with it's him and Blair, isn't it? That go to the other base, I think.
Yeah.
They go off to so they go to the other base, and like I really like how that base is all destroyed, isn't it? And it's kind of the aftermath of well, I mean, have you seen the prequel? Because
I've not watched it. No.
So the prequel.
So that's all about the Norwegian camp, is it?
Yes, the prequel basically is it treats that scene as almost like a crime scene, and it basically is how it got to that. So it's the characters and how they got to what happened with that. So it's actually, I mean, I quite liked the prequel. A lot of people didn't, but I quite liked it. So, but yeah, like there's the axe in the door, and then there's the guy with like where he's cut his wrist and it's frozen. Like there's so many.
Yeah,
cool,
that bit's crazy.
And you just don't really know what's happened. It does kind of look like they've gone mad, doesn't it? Like, and again, I think another film would have just left it like that, where you don't really know. But then you also get this huge bit of ice that's there, don't you? That they've taken, and then you get that corpse that they
something
find.
Missing out of it.
Yeah, and then you get the corpse they find, which is just like,
oh yeah, of course.
It's just that's the first. This is the first of the kind of out there effects, and it's kind of got these like two faces. Like it's just absolutely horrible.
It's all
and
twisted
again, it's
and
really
contorted.
Well, it's just so well filmed as well, isn't it? Because you don't see much of it. You just see enough to know that it's something like unearthly, like it, and because it's more horrible because it kind of is human, but not. Like I think that's the power of this film. It's this uncanny valley thing of like it's nearly there but not, and that makes it so much kind of worse and so much more disturbing. So yeah.
Just on that, actually, I was just thinking about like MacReady, right? He's like literally the coolest mofo in the world, right? Because that whole first scene where the Norwegians are shooting at Norwegians getting shot, there's a dog running around. He's just standing there with his bottle of whiskey. He doesn't drop the bottle of whiskey.
Care.
By the end of the scene, he's still got the whiskey in his hand. He's just sitting there standing there watching, drinking whiskey.
Yeah, it's true.
And even when they go to this camp and then they find all that horrible stuff, he's not. God. He's just oh wow, look at that.
He's
just like nothing phases him at all.
No, I think it's. I mean, in that great guide I found about all the characters, it seemed to say a lot of them were supposed to be Vietnam vets. So they've seen some, seen some shit. But also, I think the type of person who wants to work in the Antarctic, you got to be a very specific type of person. I'm sorry if I'm offending any Antarctic or Arctic researchers out there, but I think you need to be a certain type of person to want to work in an isolated, all male, like maybe they're not all male anymore, but like that kind of, it's a weird world. You need to be trying to get away from things maybe. And again, the power of this film is it doesn't go into their backstories. It doesn't really give you much on some of the characters. Some of the characters you barely even, like I say, some of them you don't even know what their jobs are. They're kind of there and gone. And I think
they're definitely a ragtag bunch of scientists, aren't they?
Yeah,
even though, as you've explained, they're not all scientists. But
no. But I think it's better that you don't get too much character stuff, because one of the reasons why this film is so good is it's really about human nature and about trust and about how kind of chaos, and how there's not much holding society together. These people's relationships, there is not much holding it together, and it just takes an immensely mucked up thing, but it just takes this one thing and everything just it falls apart and they go absolutely mad. Totally. It's kind of like Lord of the Flies, isn't it? And I think if you went too much into the characters, you don't need to go into the characters, because what happens to them is a very human thing. It's what all of us would experience, like man, woman, whatever race, like, you know, anything. This would happen to you because you would just be so mucked up by what is happening to them, and you would just start to distrust everyone and go crazy and all that. And
totally,
and that's why it works. You don't need massive backstories and flashbacks and all that, because what they go through is understandable to everyone, and that's one of the big.
Well, actually, you've hit the nail on the head. Then, yeah, that is the most important thing about this film, and it's actually it might not be just this film that's responsible for this, but this is the core element in so many different subgenres of horror now, and so many successful films, particularly like zombie movies, where you think it's zombies that everyone's like should be afraid of, but at the end of it, it's humans, how they turn on each other. That's the problem.
Definitely.
And this is a really good early example of that done well, isn't it?
And also you need, but why horror is such a great genre is you can take something as crazy and as mad as this idea and throw it at this very human drama. And, you know, you can watch the thing and just enjoy it for the gore and the spectacle and be scared. Or, you can just go right in and see it as basically just this immensely brilliant drama about humanity and about paranoia and about how we interact as people, and that's like it works so well because of that. You kind of, you know, the thing is a metaphor, or like, but it's also not. It's also this disgusting, horrible monster that pretends to be them and just completely mucks up their heads because they just don't know what's going on. I mean, the dog. That bit you said when the dog goes in and then its head opens it's just like it's so horrible. Like and I think it still looks good. I think the effects still look good today.
Definitely. Like, I think that's actually one of the first bits that really distressed me in that film. Like from my earliest memory of it is that scene, because it's when it all splits out, it's horrible. It's also the bit where in trying to shoot it, or actually no, one of the other dogs gets caught by it, so they shoot the dog to like put it out of its misery, and then that's when Clark flips because he's like protective of the dogs. But that whole scene is really stressful. For that.
The other dog's panicking and like trying to bite their way out of the fence, and they're like covered in this like liquid, and it's got these tentacles around them. It's just horrible. Like it really is still
it's horrendous.
Like I say, I'm not scared of this film, but it's still difficult to watch. Even though I love it, it's still hard to watch. And the fact that I'm still affected by it all these years, you know, and all these viewings, I think that's pretty impressive. You know, that it can still pull that, you know, that is.
It's weirdly, like you're saying, although there might not be the most character development in there, but all the characters are easily believable. Well, they're very much believable, relatable. It's very much the way people would act in that situation. And like you've said, even the dogs, like, you know, there's not one bit about the film that feels melodramatic or hammy. It's all really like gritty and real.
Yeah, and it runs at this great speed that while the characters are making their decisions, the audience, it's running. It's one of the things to me, a great film runs at the same speed as the audience. So while the audience is running at the speed going, what the hell's going on? The characters are running at that speed as well. So as you say, the dog, you know, you see the dog and you're like, something is up with that dog, and they're all a bit like, that's a bit weird, that dog, you know. And then you know, and then that happens, and they're all like, right, what the hell is happening? Right, we need to get these bodies. Right, what is happening with these bodies? And then I think from then, I don't know, is it from then that Blair then? Well, they do these you know, they do autopsies on the aliens, don't they? And they kind of discover that it's, and they get inside it. It's kind of it takes things in, doesn't it? And then it replicates them. So inside, like the dog was like other dogs or whatever. Like it's all just gross. But and then Blair's got that kind of computer program, very old school 80s computer program.
I love that rich
shows about the organisms and how it basically says, doesn't it, that the whole world will be completely taken over if he
In
doesn't,
like
if it's not
27,000
stopped.
hours or something.
Yeah. Like it's like it's like it's hardly any time at all, and then the whole of the world will be just like taken over by this thing. And they also quite quickly go back to the Norwegian base. They find they've got the videos, don't they? They find the spaceship, and they, you know, you could say it's unrealistic that they all just go, oh, well, it's a spaceship, this must be an alien. But then it would be more annoying if they would just spent 3 scenes freaking out. Like, I don't want them to all be going, oh, like what? I mean, you do have the big discussion. Like, there's a bit with, isn't it? It's Childs is just like, it's a load of rubbish, and then the other guy's like, oh, chariots of the gods, man. You know, Palmer, like, oh, they came down, they built the pyramids, like they've been here for years, and all that. And he's the one that's right, isn't he? Because it's been there 100,000 years.
Yeah,
that
it's like really old ice,
there.
isn't it?
Yeah, it's been there the whole time. So, like, yeah, I mean, I like how, like I said, I like how the film runs at this really great speed. You're kind of trying to work it out, and they're trying to work it out, and you're rewarded because you're running at the same speed as them. You're not going, oh, it's obviously, it's not like half an hour of just the dog wandering around and maybe something happening and maybe it not happening. That doesn't happen. It's the it gets disgusting and gross and mucked up very quickly, which is great. I love that.
Yeah, it's when, just the body count just starts stacking up then, doesn't it?
Oh,
Like
hell yeah.
once there's that first incident, then it just seems like just everyone starts getting like,
yeah, I mean, the next
taken over
you've
here
got
and there.
Yeah, which one's it's?
I can't remember who
it's
was
because
next.
they take the bodies. They haven't worked. They work out too late that the bodies, although they're dead, they're still alive. That's why you need to burn them. And I think one of the guys, is it Fuchs, or one of the guys gets got in that, and he's got those like horrible, like, it's his fingers, isn't it?
Yeah, that one hand.
He runs out into the snow and he just does this really horrible scream in the snow.
Yeah,
and they burn him. And that's one of my favorite scenes, is when they're kind of all standing around him.
Yeah,
and they've they've burned him, and they're all kind of standing there, aren't they, and watching him. And I think MacReady does that big speech about, like, I know that some of you are, it's you some of you aren't you, but at the moment you can't attack me because there's too many of us versus you, but that won't be the same. But like right now you're hiding because you don't have the numbers, kind of thing. But like, I know you're kind of you're in there. And the great thing about the film is it doesn't really at that point say, look, it's this person, or it doesn't give you, there's some hints of who it might be or who it isn't, but I don't think you really know, do you? I mean, I don't think you know who it is. Then Blair goes mad.
Even rewatching it, even after having seen it, like, you sort of forget the order in which it happens as well.
Yeah.
Because then you're a bit like, wait, is he like it there, or does it happen later on, or for the people that do change.
Yeah, and Blair goes mad, starts smashing up everything, which to Blair's credit is actually the correct thing to do. He smashes all the snow plows and the helicopter and everything because he doesn't want the organism getting, very just simply being in a human form, getting in a helicopter and flying to a populated area, which is what it wants to do. But they interpret, and he smashes all the radios and all that. They interpret his behavior because they don't really know. They think it's because I think they think he might be possessed. That's one of the only things where you can see why he's doing this, but they don't really understand why he's doing it. And then they lock him in his cabin. And that's also one of my other favorite bits, is when later on when they go and see him and they're like, oh, hey Blair, like that, and he's got kind of a noose just hanging. He's like, guys, I'm all right now. Look, I'm fine. You can just let me out. Like, I'm sorry about what happened. I'm fine. He was obviously going to kill himself. Like, I just like it's, and I think the key of that scene is that he isn't Blair at that point, because the thing wouldn't kill itself, but Blair would. So I think obviously he went to kill himself before he was taken, and then when he was taken, he wouldn't do that because it wouldn't do that to itself. The film just kind of barrels along from here. Then I think the next big bit is The next big.
I was going to say actually, there's the bit which is the part when. Oh yeah, no. I think it's the bit you're coming to actually. Sorry.
So
is it the bit when MacReady gets cut off?
Yeah,
where they think
this was always a bit of the So this was always a bit of the film I found a bit odd. So probably 4 viewings back, maybe I never really liked this bit of the film. So yeah, MacReady gets kind of cut off, and because MacReady's been the main character. Yeah, he's been the main character. He's been pretty much in every scene. And then suddenly he's cut off and he disappears, and they find shredded clothes, which is a sign that the thing has taken you. And someone's like, what's it comes back? One of them, the cook guy comes back, Knowles, and he's like,
Knowles,
I cut him off because he was being weird and all this. And they start to suspect him. And I always, in my original viewings of this, I didn't like this. I thought this is a bit, come on, it's Kurt Russell. Of course it isn't him. Like, this is crazy. Why are you doing this film? I don't like this. But in my more recent viewings, I actually really like this bit, because I think what it's doing is it's Carpenter saying to the audience, well, you think MacReady isn't the thing? How do you know he's not the thing? Well, maybe he is, totally. And do actually, I think people would go, oh God, maybe actually it is him. Maybe this is like, and it's what's brilliant as well is the whole setup of him. He breaks in, doesn't he? He's got dynamite. He's which again proves he isn't the thing, because he's willing to kill himself. He's gonna blow them all up, and then they corner him, and it's the other. I can't remember which one it is. One of them faints, and he's like having a cardiac arrest, and the doctor's like, we got to do this on him. So, and it's so clever because you're watching them cornering MacReady, and Clark's got a knife, so he's about to attack MacReady, and you're anyone who's seen films before, in your brain you're like, okay, right, what's going to happen is they're going to get MacReady, they're going to attack him, they're going to bundle him down, and it'll be him or whatever. And what you don't see coming is just one of the, it's probably like one of the most insane bits of the film. The doctor goes to put the paddles in, and the chest of the guy just opens up like that and just like bites his arms off. I mean, it still looks amazing. Like, that's
definitely like the most shocking, probably the most shocking moment in the whole film. That scene, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing. I love how it happens, and then the guy's like head like just extends off, doesn't it, and like drops off the table, and then it's
weird as well, because a head comes out of him first, doesn't it?
Yes,
because there's a head sort of on the, but then his actual head then sort of tears off and falls onto the floor.
It's amazing.
It's like
it's so
horrendous.
Amazing, and then it sprouts legs.
Yeah.
and then
another set of eyes,
and then there's a brilliant shot where they're all talking. You can see it just like going to scuttle away in the background, and that's like, it's one of the only kind of moments of like comedy is when Palmer turns and he's like, oh, you gotta be fucking kidding me. He just like sees it like scuttling, like trying to escape, and they just like flamethrower it.
True, man.
It's just
before we go on to the next bit, actually,
brilliant.
You've reminded me of another part there. So before all that happens, before they suspect MacReady, they've worked out how to do that blood test that should tell them who's got it.
Yes, sorry.
And all the blood samples have been destroyed.
Yes.
Now,
which then makes
the bit I love about that, makes you start thinking it's
it could
one
be
of two
it's
people,
only
isn't
Gary.
it?
Yeah, Gary and the doctor are the only people with the keys to that. Yeah.
Exactly. So the thing that I love about it is that obviously there's a big standoff there, and then Gary's like, this is another of those sort of slightly random moments.
Yeah.
Gary's like, well, someone else should probably have this gun. You'd feel better if someone else has got it. And then weirdly,
Childs says like,
Childs. For some reason, Childs goes, okay. And
Keith David,
up until that point, I've had no problem with Childs. Childs seems like quite a cool, collected guy. But MacReady goes, no, Childs, we want someone a bit more even-tempered than you. As if he's like this weird, like wild, evil person.
It makes you wonder, was there a few scenes missing where he's been a bit more... I mean, he's the one who vocally doesn't really believe the alien theory. But
I wouldn't say he's like a hothead. Like
no, it's weird, isn't it? Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
But
it's odd.
But the other reason why I think that's important is there's a scene just before all the head running off bit, which is a really good scene where MacReady's sitting in a room and it's a really good use of space. Like the cinematography is really good, where he's got this open door behind him.
Yeah.
And you're in the whole scene while he's sitting there. I can't remember what he's doing, but he's sitting there.
Isn't he recording? He's making the recording of. Isn't he making the recording like the little log for like, oh, if you
That's
find
right,
this,
yeah.
Then, like
That's right.
I really like that scene.
That's exactly what it is. But that space, and you kind of think, oh my god, something's going to go past, and nothing does. But you're so tense for that whole scene, even though nothing happens. You're tense because you see that space and you think, "Oh, something's going to go past."
No, like,
but then it's that same sort of space that then you see the head run off in after the head removal.
Yeah. It's like you say, it's a very tense film. You're on. I mean, apart from feeling cold all the way through it, it's a film where you can't watch it without feeling a bit cold. It's such the environment and the landscape is as much a character as all the characters, but it's tense all the way through. You don't know who it's going to be. There's jump scares. There's weird, crazy, mad stuff happening that you can't predict is going to happen. And that you don't know, as you say, even if just a person's just going to go mad, like Windows just goes mad, doesn't he? He goes and gets a shotgun at one point, and they have to talk him down.
Yeah,
like they could just be going mad because they've gone mad. It's not because they're the thing. It's just because they're a person and they can't handle this scenario because it's so mucked up, and that's even better. About that's what the great thing about it. It's not just people trapped and they're like going mad because they're trapped. There's so many other factors going into it. Yeah, and I mean, like you say, then you get to the bit where MacReady's kind of taken over by this point, and they've worked out how to do this test, which is get everyone's blood and put it in the petri dish and then put a hot wire into it, because every part of the thing is a part of it. So even its blood will try to survive. So, and this is, you cement that MacReady is himself because he does it and he's fine. And I really like how they do it, where they're all kind of they're all tied down, aren't they? And then he'll do it, and then it'll cut, and then the person will just be standing next to him, like, because he's, he does Windows, doesn't he? And then he's tied up, and then he does it, and then Windows is next to him, and they're all completely convinced, aren't they, that it's Gary, and they think it's Clark as well, and then they realise it wasn't Clark, and Charles is like, "Oh, you just murdered him then," and MacReady killed him, didn't he? And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I did."
Yeah, he did come at him with a scalpel, but he shot him in the head.
So they're doing them all, aren't they? And I think you've got Gary, Childs, and Palmer are still tied to the thing. And before they do Palmer's, he transforms, doesn't he? He starts transforming. I think it's before they even do the test. And again, that's
he's horrible, isn't he?
Yeah, it's probably not the scene everyone remembers, or like is like the, like the most iconic, but it's really good, especially because they're tied next to him and they're just like screaming, trying to get away while he's like shaking and transforming, and his like face is all melting. I think with this one it's weird because he seems to like go through about 5 or 6 different like stages how he transforms. He goes into lots of different weird types of things, doesn't he? Like he's quite like he's a bit of a weird monster, this one. But it's
weird how they're all so different, aren't they? The transformations are different with every person and every creature, aren't they?
Yeah, and the design to come up with these ideas.
And when you find the time, I'd rather not spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch.
That's our 30 minutes. But also really good timing, because this is the point in the film where he says that. So but we're going to have to carry on.
Well, we will carry on. I mean, to be honest, like, I love all of this film, but I do think from this point, so now you've really only got, it's Knowles. I think it's MacReady, Childs, Knowles, and Gary are alive. Everyone else has been killed. Yeah. Childs goes missing, so you've only got Gary, Knowles, and
wait, Fuchs sort of goes missing in a weird way as well, doesn't
Fuchs goes. Yeah, I mean, I think I've read.
They just find him on fire. They find his singed corpse outside.
So I think there was originally that they showed his death. I think I read that they originally showed Fuchs's death, but I think that's sacrificed for you to maybe think it was MacReady. I think that's during the period where you're supposed to think it's MacReady, so they don't want to give you too much evidence because they want you to maybe think MacReady did it. So you've got So you've got Gary. Charles is gone. We don't know where Charles has gone. He's disappeared. So it's Knowles, Gary, and MacReady, and they go to Blair's cabin. And they find he's got this weird underground, like he's made this little tunnel underground, doesn't he? And he's starting to build a spaceship, and I can't tell. The spaceship looks too small, and I always kind of find it funny because it looks a bit like a kid's spaceship. But I guess the point is that he could just have his finger in the spaceship, and it's still the thing, isn't he? He could have his his toenail, and it would still be the thing. So that's so that's kind of funny. And then you kind of get. I think. Like I say, I think this film is brilliant. I think it's near perfect. If I have to be annoyed, if there's a bit I don't like, it's this climax, because I feel that it kind of starts to rush at this point. So, Blair takes out Gary, I think, doesn't he? Does that horrible thing in his, like he puts his hand in his face, I think. Blair takes out, I think Knowles just disappears. You don't see that. And then you've got
that part there, Knowles, the way he goes out, that is the one bit that does irritate me in this film, because it's the one point in this film where stupid horror logic comes in, like silly, where he's near MacReady, he sees
and he just
Gary
goes
being
off.
carried along by his face, and he walks off without saying anything. Like, huh?
No,
he doesn't go MacReady, or even make a noise. He just goes off, and that's the only, in horror films, that's a very typical stupid thing to do, but up until that point, this film's been pretty sensible, so it's a bit frustrating. Yeah,
and then you get this kind of, you got MacReady on his own, and you've got this massive, like all the floor breaks, and this massive monster comes up. And of all the monsters, I don't think this one looks as good. I think it's obvious that it's obvious that it's on a central structure. Like it's obvious that it's one thing, and there's people puppeting bits of it. Like it's the only one I don't think looks good. I do wonder if they just thought we have to have a big thing at the end. We have to have literally a big thing. I wonder if they did it was a kind of studio. Oh, you have to have a big one that he fights and blows up. I don't know, but I do wonder that. It's not my favourite bit of the film. Thankfully, though, the real end of the film is just one of the best endings of any film ever. So he goes out and he finds Charles, and he's just a bit like, oh, where have you been then? And he's like, oh, I went off. I can't remember who. He saw someone, didn't he? And he went off to deal with something. He's got a reason. He says
he saw Blair, I think, didn't he? Oh, I saw Blair, went after him and got lost in the storm, he says.
Yeah. And then they just kind of both sit there absolutely exhausted. And then he's like, he says, what is it? I've got it written now. And he goes, oh, how will we make it? That's what Charles says. And MacReady says, maybe we shouldn't. And Charles says, if you're worried about me, MacReady says, if we've got any surprises for each other, I don't think we're in much shape to do anything about it. And then Charles says, well, what do we do? And MacReady just says, why don't we just wait here for a while and see what happens? And they both kind of smile at each other, and you just kind of, the camera just drifts out of this kind of absolutely mucked up, burnt down. I mean, because they're going to die. They're going to die of exposure.
From exposure, basically,
Yeah, or one of them is the thing and it's going to eat the other one and then hibernate. We don't know. Or they'll get... So you don't know, but it's a brilliant ending, because what else could the ending be? Like, I think any other ending would be unsatisfactory. And the fact that you don't really know if Charles is or isn't, people say, don't people say he is the thing at this point?
Yeah, the theory is that he is, and there's a couple of things. One I noticed when I rewatched it. One was when they're both talking. There's you have you can see the breath of MacReady.
Oh
and with Childs you can't. Now, does that mean he's the alien? Not necessarily, but it's odd that only one of them you can see the breath of. And the long-standing theory that Childs is the thing is that before that scene, you see MacReady with JB whiskey bottles, like the one I wanted to have, that I couldn't get in time, but used as Molotov cocktails. So they've got petrol in instead.
Oh, okay.
So it's not whiskey, it's petrol. So the theory is he hands Childs a bottle at the end for him to drink out of, to see if he would drink it. And Childs does drink it and acts like, oh yeah, nice whiskey.
But
really, it's petrol.
Oh,
yeah,
interesting.
exactly.
I
So
didn't know
in
that
theory, MacReady laughs at him because he's
Wow.
like, "Oh, you're the one," ha 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 ha,
Yeah.
or
Okay.
something.
Very.
But
There you go. Well, that's
but
the
I
end
was
of the
happy
film. We
just
did.
with the ending the way it was.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. I mean,
Anyway,
there's a
really.
lot. I've read that. I mean, if you want to, people want to go. There's a deep dive in. Like, there's quite a lot of alternate endings as well. I think there's an ending where a dog runs off because that's the dog it's turned into a dog again and gone off somewhere. I think there's an ending with that in. I think there was an ending where they were rescued as well. There's quite a few different endings, I think.
Actually, there was one dog that escaped, wasn't there? There's a dog that escapes from the bit when when it's freaking out and killing all the dogs. So that's an interesting aspect of it I hadn't thought about.
But yeah, so we overran, but we did get to the end of the film.
We did, yeah. And what a film! And the thing is, it needs talking about a lot.
Oh God, yeah, it does. Could have
it's been
so
talked about by so many other people. Exactly, you could talk for 2 hours on this film, couldn't you?
Oh,
at least?
hell yeah, yeah,
But,
hell yeah.
I mean, there are so many facts about it as well. I know we always do facts for this, and I've popped in one or two here and there. And
what are your top facts?
Yeah, well, let me just try and I'll pick sort of 3 of my favourites. I think one that because it's linked to someone who I particularly like as an actor. There are no females in the film, as you know. However, there is one female cast member in the credits who is the voice for the chess machine, because it's a female voice when he's playing the chess.
Yeah.
And guess whose voice it is? Do you know this?
No, who?
It's someone you know.
Is it?
Adrienne Barbeau.
Oh, really?
John Carpenter's. Yep, it's her from The Fog
cool.
and
really
Escape
cool.
from New York and everything else.
Oh, that's great.
It's actually her voice. So
excellent.
she's in it, but just her voice.
She's in it without being in it.
There's loads of facts as well about the sort of really interesting stuff behind when they were making all the effects, particularly that the the really mad scene where it all comes out.
Yeah.
They used a guy who had no arms to be the guy who plunges the fake arms into the chest, and actually sort of had these arms made out of jello and rubber. And they actually did tear them off, and then they had this guy with no arms wearing a mask of the guy the actor who does the whole going back bit and then like flailing about. So I mean that's fantastic. I don't know how they really pulled that off just with physical effects.
Yeah,
and also in doing that they were using a load of toxic chemicals. And they even had like a massive fireball at one point when they were trying to use flames, but they had all these sort of toxic chemicals that they were using because they were just like messing around with a load of stuff they didn't really have time to test. So they were doing lots of dangerous stuff. And then one more thing I'll say about the music, actually. So I won't go on too long about the facts, even though I could go on forever. Is that the apparently unused music from this film, from Ennio Morricone, was used in Quentin Tarantino film. Do you know which film it was?
No.
The Hateful Eight.
No. Oh, really? Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm. So basically, Tarantino found some of this music and used it in his film. But the funny thing is that he was nominated, Morricone, for having made like the worst score by like it's like a Razzie Award or something. So people had said it was rubbish, right? When the thing came out, they were like, for the thing,
yeah.
And then when the leftover music got used in Hateful Eight, he got an Oscar for the soundtrack.
People just
so that just shows how much time
people are ridiculous
can make a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, no, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous people. They were wrong. It's a great film. It's an amazing film.
Very ridiculous. Do you have any love horror links?
I have. Well, I've got a few love horror links. So, The Thing from Another World, the 1951 film that it's a remake of. I mean, I would say The Thing. This film, The Thing, is one of the best remakes of all time. I've seen The Thing from Another World. It's okay. The monsters absolute garbage. It looks like a big carrot man. It's terrible. You couldn't take it seriously. But if you're really into the thing, it's worth watching as like what it was, what the basis of this was. I mentioned before the prequel, the 2011 prequel, that does have a female member. Mary Elizabeth Winstead is part of the team. She's an American in the Norwegian team. I thought it was really good. I think it's worth watching again if you're a really big fan. It's just to kind of see the story beefed out a bit. It's not all practical effects. Some of them are CG, and I do think you do notice that. There's an interview with the director, Matthias van Heijningen. I'm saying that terribly, but I did an interview with him, which is on Love Horror. You can read that interview with him, and there's a review of that thing as well. Couple more. Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 1956 or the 78 version.
Course,
hugely influential films anyway, but I mean, I think that's influential here. Venom. I put Venom in as a link because Venom is almost like a positive take on the kind of symbiotic alien-human relationship. It's like a semi-positive take. So it's like he's the thing, what Venom is. It's a bit like the Thing in that it kind of takes over people, and so if you again maybe a bit of a sideways one, but and my final one, which is the most exciting one, is that the Thing is actually part of Carpenter's Apocalypse trilogy. I don't know if you knew this, but so John Carpenter said that the Thing was part of an Apocalypse trilogy followed by Prince of Darkness and then Mouth of Madness. Now the great thing is, they're both amazing films, and I don't think we've reviewed either of those. So hopefully at some point we can do them on the podcast, because I love both of those films as well. But
That's
so
a really
they're basically
point.
all three of those films deal with kind of, a human apocalypse or the end of the world. No spoilers there, but in very different ways. So you can watch all three of them it's a kind of weird alternate trilogy. Yeah.
Nice, yeah, no, I totally agree. Yeah, if they're not on our list for future films to watch and review on here, we'll definitely have to do it, because I totally agree.
Yeah,
I thought you were going to say they're in the same universe as well for a minute.
No, it's
not
just
necessarily
kind
that.
of
It's just
thematic. Yeah, more of a thematic trilogy rather than an actual trilogy. But yeah,
amazing.
Just how
I had a couple of ideas of links as well. Actually, I think we do have a review for this one. Similar, claustrophobic, very cold humans trapped against a sort of impossible foe. It's 30 Days of Night, 2007, the vampire movie.
True.
I love that film.
I do love that.
It shares a lot of similarities. I think probably did get a lot of influence, particularly in the sort of effects and stuff from the Thing, like from the way it looks, I think. And then also another one I was going to say was Event Horizon as well.
Oh.
So although
That's
it's
interesting.
It's another expedition into the unknown.
That's funny you should say Event Horizon. That's
why have we never reviewed that?
Wow. Well, that's interesting.
Maybe we should think about that one. Maybe we should add that to our list as well.
Segue. Maybe that should be the next podcast.
It is going to be the... Oh, is it? I didn't even
It is the
realise.
next
Wow, what a coincidence. Oh, okay.
Good
brilliant.
segue.
Okay. So,
Look at that. Look at that.
But yeah, I mean, even though it's in space instead of the Arctic or Antarctic, it's another one of those whodunits where you're a bit like, wait, who is the alien, or who's who?
Yeah.
So, what a brilliant choice for the next film to review then in the next episode.
Exactly. Can't believe we never did Event Horizon before, or talked about
crazy,
it before.
it?
I'm looking forward to that one. That'll be a good one.
Me too.
I mean, I guess if we were going to review the Thing and we were going to give it a score out of 5, what are we going to give it? I'm going to give it 5 out of 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
100%.
100%.
I think it's, even with my reservations about like the ending, I still think it's pretty damn perfect. It's still great. It looks great. I think it's one of my favorite films, really. I'd say up there with and it's one of my favorite Carpenters for sure, up there with Halloween. It's just great.
Definitely.
I don't get bored of it.
No, it's supposedly his favourite film as well of all of his films that he's made. Yeah, and it was the first studio film he made, because all the others were independent.
Yeah.
So even though it did knock his confidence for a while, I mean, I totally agree. 5 stars. I can't fault it in any way. And every
No.
time I watch it, I'm impressed again with more of it. And it doesn't seem to matter how many times I watch it, I still enjoy it pretty much as much as I did the first time I watched it, which is a really rare thing. But it's just again another example of John Carpenter taking just a genius idea and just turning it into a film in just the most perfect way possible. Like, I just don't know how he did it, you know?
No. Credit to but also credit to everyone else in it. Like, say, Morricone's score, the Rob Bottin, the effects, all the cast are great. Like, there's just nothing lets it down. It hits on every front. So yeah,
no weaknesses.
Great film, a great film. So that's kind of us. We're sorry we overran, but it was worth it. Hopefully you agree with us that the thing is, maybe you don't. Tell us if you don't. We're always happy for some feedback. And as Tom said, next time we'll be off to space with the 1997 Event Horizon. Any final words for the listeners, for the viewers?
No, I'm just really looking forward to taking off this woolly hat and this parka jacket, because it's really not the weather for it anymore.
You made it.
Yeah, I've
it.
not melted.
Good.
But yeah, no, I hope you've all enjoyed talking about or listening to us talk about the thing as much as we've enjoyed talking about it, really.
Yeah. Thank you for loving horror as much as we do. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
See you next time. Bye.